Hello learner, my name is Dr. Balam Singh Dafoti. I am working as assistant professor in School of Computer Science NIT, Uttarakhand Open University, Haldwani. So learner, after going through this video lecture, you will able to learn about the cyber security and you will learn about most common types of cyber attacks and you will learn about what are the motive behind a cyber attack and you will learn how to secure your computer. You will learn about how to protect your PC from getting hacked and you will learn about the best practices for cyberspace. So learner, as we know that we are living in a digital era, whether it be booking a hotel room, ordering some dinner or you are booking a cab, we constantly using an internet and inherently constantly generating data. This data is generally stored on cloud, which is a which is basically a huge data server or data center that you can access online. Also, we use an array of devices to access this data. Now, for a hacker, it's a golden age with so many access points, IP, public IP addresses, and constant traffic tons of data to exploit. Black hat hackers are having one hell of time exploiting vulnerabilities and creating malicious software. Cyber attacks are evolving day by day. Hackers are becoming smarter and more creative with their malware, how they bypass virus scans and firewall still back to many people. So let's go through some of the most common type of cyber attack. So as you can see, I have listed out some common types of cyber attacks that have plagued us since the beginning of internet. Let us let's go through them briefly. So first in the list we have general malware. Malware is an all-encompassing term for a variety of cyber threats including Trojan, viruses, and logic bombs. Malware is simply defined as a code with malicious intent that typically steals data or destroys something on the computer. So next in the list we have phishing. Phishing often posing a request for data from a trusted third party. Phishing attacks are sent via Gmail and asked user to click on a link and enter the personal data. Phishing emails have gotten much more sophisticated in recent years, making it difficult for some people to discern a legitimate request for information from a false one. Phishing emails often falls into the category as spam. So next in the list is password attack. So password attack is exactly what it sounds like, a third party trying to gain access to your system by tracking your password. Password attack is most common from of corporate and personal data attacks. A password attack is simply when a hacker tries to steal your password. Now a password attack we have different types. So first type of password attack is brute force attack. Brute force attack uses a trial and error method to get login information, encryption keys, or find hidden web page. This attack is done by brute force, meaning use excessive force, full attempt to try and force their way to the private account. So next attack is the dictionary attack. It is a password guessing technique in which the attacker attempts to determine the user password by successfully trying words from dictionary. That dictionary is combined with the list of likely password that we put. So next one is the keylogger. Keylogger are built from act of keystroke logging, creating records of everything you type on a computer or mobile keyboard. These are used to quietly monitor your computer activity while you use your device as normal. And finally, we have credential stuffing. It is a method in which attacker use list of compromised user credential to breach into your system. So next one is SQL injection. SQL injection is a web security vulnerability in which the attacker interferes with the queries that an application makes to its database. The attacker can retrieve sensitive data from the company. So there is an example for it. Let's say there is a website that contains a lot of username and password. Now this data is stored in the database of website that works on SQL query, right? So now the hacker types a SQL query in the format that is shown. The hacker got into the website using some other username and password. Then he can gain access to the website. Then he can hack it and get all the data from the website. So next type of attack is social engineering. Social engineering uses psychological manipulation to trick user into giving away sensitive information such as their card number, their OTP to hacker. Then the hacker use that information to breach personal or organizational devices. From day to day, cyber criminals have learned a carefully worded email, voice email, or text messages can convince people to transfer money, provide confidential information, or download a file that install malware on company's network. So next type of attack is DOS attack, that is denial of service. It is a cyber attack in which the network is choked and often collapsed by flooding it with useless traffic and thus preventing the legitimate network traffic. DOS attack can be carried out in a variety of methods, but the most common is distributed denial of service attack. A denial of service attack is a cyber attack that aims to make a computer or service unavailable to its intended users. A denial, a distributed denial of service attack is a specific type of DOS attack that utilizes multiple compromised systems, often forming a botnet, to overload the target. This makes the target system unresponsive and unavailable to legitimate users. A DOS attack, as the name implies, aims to disturb network securities or services. Attacker sends the large amount of data or traffic through the network until it becomes overloaded and fail. DOS attack can be carried out in several ways. The most common, which is distributed denial service attack. The attacker sends traffic and data that overload the system by utilizing multiple machines. In many cases, the person may be unaware his or her computer has been hijacked. So the next type of attack is man in the middle attack. The man in the middle attack can obtain information from the end user and the entity with which he or she is communicating by impersonating the endpoints in online information exchange. The man in the middle would receive all the information transferred between both parties, which, which could include sensitive data such as bank accounts and personal information. So by in, so learner by impersonating the endpoints is an online information exchange The man in the middle can obtain information from any user and the entity he or she is communicating with. For example, if you are banking online, then man in the middle would communicate with you by impersonating your bank and communicate with the bank by impersonating you. So the man in the middle would then receive all the information transfer between both parties, which could include sensitive data such as bank accounts and personal information. Now, what are the motives behind a cyber attack? The first motive behind a cyber attack is financial loss to the target. Suppose I do the DOS attack and the company is no longer working, there is suffer a huge financial loss. So the next motive is demanding ransom. Hacker can encrypt your data and then demand money to decrypt in order to decrypt it. So the next motive is demanding ransom. Hacker can encrypt your data and then demand money to decrypt in order to decrypt it. So next motive is damaging reputation of target. Impersonating the user on social media platform, making false statement, thus damaging the reputation of a person. So next motive is information theft and manipulating. Suppose I get data that has a lot of value in the dark market, I can sell it and earn from it. So next motive is creating chaos by disrupting critical infrastructure. For example, the company infrastructure crashes and the hacker crashes it. The services are no longer to be offered by the company. People start panicking about attack by cyber criminal and they might never do any services in that company. So next motive is the propagating religious or political beliefs. Now the hacker promote whatever culture they want to promote or whatever party they want to promote, getting more and more follower and thus achieving their motives. And next motive is the disrupting business continuity. If a person don't want any organization to work, he can hack into stop the business. So the next motive is disrupting business continuity. If a person don't want any organization to work, he can hack into it to stop the business. So next one is how to secure your computer. So you can secure your computer by the following way. We have two-way authentication, then secure password, regular updates, antivirus, enable firewall, say no to phishing. So now in two-factor authentication, it is an extra layer of security used to make sure that the user trying to gain access to an online account is authentic. For example, Google uses two-step verification service that involves user password. For example, Google uses two-step verification service that involves user password. It adds an extra layer of security to your accounts. Beyond just your password, you use something you knows password and something you have a verification code sent to your device to log in. So that is called as two-step authentication. So next we have secure password. Hackers are hungry for password as they have lot of values. That's the main reason companies ask you to create a strong password so that no one can hack into it. Here are some tips make your password secure. So do not use personal information. Strongly recommended to don't include any words related to your user names of your family members or your pets in your password. And do not use real word, as password cracking tools are very effective in helping hackers guess your password. Always use mixed character by combining uppercase letter and with lowercase letter, number and special characters, and change password on a regular basis. Online financial account should be changed in every month or two, while you make changes in your password every quarter. And thus the most important part, don't write down your password. The next is regular update. Always update your computer as soon as update comes. An update comes when there is a security issues and has been resolved. Software updates are important because they offer include critical patches to security holes in order to security fixes. Software updates can also include new and enhanced feature for better compatibility with different devices or application. They can also include the stability of your software and remove outdated features. Next one is antivirus. Always use an antivirus on your computer. It helps to detect any virus in the file that you download. Next one is firewall. A firewall is a network security device. It helps in filtering or blocking incoming and outgoing network traffic based on the organization policies. Most of us had habit that not checking whether the firewall in our companies is enabled or disabled. One of the worst things that could happen in your computer if someone attempt to takes remotely. So you don't want to a remote intruder to get into the digital kingdom. So always enable firewall in your computer. Next one is say no to phishing. This is the most common way to get credentials from any user. It is important to have awareness about this attack is protect yourself and organizations. So here the tips to protect your PC from getting hacked. Be cautious about all information you received. If it appears to be phishing communication, do not respond, just delete it. So do not click on any given links in email. Do not open any attachment from the email coming from unknown sources. Do not enter personal information on pop-up screens. Legitimate companies, agencies, and organizations do not ask for personal information via pop-up screen. Install a phishing filter on your email applications and also on your web browser. So now come to the next topic, that is best practices for cyberspace. It is not possible for an it is not possible for an organization to develop a perfect cybersecurity plan. Rather, organizations should implement and continuously evaluate cybersecurity practices that protect sensitive data while making their computer and network a difficult target for malicious intent. The following sections outline basics best practices for cybersecurity in your organizations. So learner, number one is establish policies and educate staff in cybersecurity principles. Educate employees or staff on the proper use of computer and other devices in your organization. Define what sensitive data is and the types of sensitive data stored on computer system. Clearly identify what data needs to be secured and how data protection is accomplished. Create and implement IT policies describing how to handle and protect sensitive information and data, create a culture of cyber security by establishing basic security practices for all the staff, including volunteers, promote security awareness and education in your organization. Number second, protect information, computers and network from cyber attacks. So always install antivirus and anti-malware software to keep computer and other technology devices free from viruses, spyware and other malicious programs. Having the latest security software, web browsers and operating system also help to define against these threats. So whenever possible, antivirus and anti-malware software should update automatically and run in a real-time mode to continuously monitor for and mitigate threats should they occur. In addition to real-time protection, a complete antivirus anti-malware scan of each computer should be performed on weekly basis. Third one is keep computer operating system and application software up to date. Vendors that manufacture computer operating system and application software are continuously introducing new versions of their product or provide patches and bugs fixes when a vulnerability is identified. It is important to keep computer and other technology devices up to date as new versions or updates are made available. Many vendors such as Microsoft and Apple regularly schedule release update but may publish a patch at any time to address a particularly serious threat. Most computer systems are can be configured to automatically update themselves or provide notification when an update is available. Regardless of the type of operating system or application software used, new version patches and fixes should be updated regularly. So number 4 best practices is provide firewall security for your internet connection. It is it is commonplace for most of organizations to have an internet connection that is always on, exposing computer to external threats 24 hours a day. Firewall are critical as they help protect internet connected computers from these threats. Firewalls may be integrated into a router or wireless access point provided as a service from your internet service provider or purchased separately from a firewall manufacturer. Firewall may be integrated into a router or wireless access point provided as a service from your internet service providers and purchased separately from a firewall manufacturer. Regardless of the type, product updates should be regularly applied and administrative password change when first deployed and regularly over time. Many computer operating systems have an integrated software firewall features that should be enabled wherever possible. If staff work from home, verify that verify that their home computer systems are protected by firewall and are subject to the organization's cybersecurity policies and procedures. Number 5 is create a mobile device action plan. Mobile devices including smartphones, pads, tablets, USB memory sticks and mobile hard disk drives create significant data security concern, especially if they contain confidential information or can access computer or data in your internal network. Limit their use wherever possible and require users to encrypt stored data. Enable password protection and install security applications to prevent the theft of information while the device is operating. Especially over a public network, be secure to implement reporting procedures for staff to follow when mobile devices are lost or stolen. Limit their use whenever possible and require users to encrypt stored data, enable password protections, and install security applications to prevent the theft of information while the device is operating, especially over a private network. Be secure to implement reporting procedure for staff to follow when the mobile devices are lost or stolen. Number 6 is make backup copies of important business data and information. Regularly backup the data on all computer. Critical data includes but is not limited to word processing document, spreadsheets, databases, human resource files, and financial information including accounts, receivable, payable files. Whenever possible, backup data automatically throughout the day and execute a complete backup every night. At the minimum, perform a weekly backup of system. Store the backup copies either offsite or in the cloud. Data stored offsite containing personal, financial, or health information must be encrypted. Regardless of the frequency in which data is backed up or where copies are kept, establish or test the process for restoring data back to the system. Prevent access or use of business computer by unauthorized individuals. In institutions where computer monitor display sensitive data and may be prevent access or use of business computer by unauthorized individuals in situation where computer monitor display sensitive data and may be in may be inadvertently viewed, the use of privacy screen or repositioning the monitor is suggested. Enable screensavers whenever possible and require a password to unlock the computer. Laptops can be particularly easy targets for theft or can be lost. So physically ensure them when unattended. Make sure a separate user account is created for each staff member and require the use of a strong password. Administrative level access should be restricted to key personnel only. Number eight is secure wireless network. If you have a Wi-Fi network in your workplace, make sure transmission are secure and encrypted using the most up-to-date standards. Ensure that administrative access to the router is protected with a strong password. If your organization provides guest Wi-Fi services, ensure that the guest Wi-Fi network is completely isolated from your workplace Wi-Fi network. So number ninth is limit access to data and information authority to install software. Limit whenever possible the circumstances that provide any one employee access to all data system. Okay. Limit whenever possible the circumstances that provide any one employee access to all data system. Rather determine the requirements for each staff person's specific job functions and limit their access to specific system based on those requirements. Staff should not be able to install any software without permission. Consider the use of content monitoring and filtering system for those computers that access the internet. So next one is password and authentication. Require a step to use unique password and change password minimally every 3 months. Minimally a 6 to 8 digit mix of upper and lower case letter, numbers, and special character is best. Consider implementing multi-factor authentication that require additional information beyond a password to gain entry. Check with your business partners that handle sensitive data, especially financial institutions, to see if they offer multi factor authentications for your account. So, learner, this is all about. Uh, Thank you very much.